Hello, everyone. In today's episode of End of Days Play, we review the match between Rajasthan Royals and the Chennai Super Kings. We offer the talking points from today's game and also take look ahead at the prediction for tomorrow's game between the Kolkata Knight Riders and the Mumbai Indians. It was a match today, a very high scoring affair, but we'll see what we have in terms of the summary. So, Suren, what do you have for us in the summary?
Thanks, Nags. In keeping with the trend of the tournament so far, the team winning the toss decided to chase. So the Chennai Super Kings put the Rajasthan Royals into bat first. After a slow start for a couple of overs, they lost Yashasvi Jaiswal, but then Sanju Samson and Steve Smith put on a brilliant partnership and laid a solid foundation with Samson blazing his way to a very brisk 72, 74 of 32 balls. After he got out, I think things slowed down a little bit before some last hitting at the end by Jofra Archer took them to 216 for the loss of 7 wickets. And from the bowling point of view, Sam Curran got 3 wickets with his medium pace off cutter variation, mixture of variations. But then the other bowlers struggled, especially Piyush Chawla and Lungi Ngidi. In response, the Chennai Super Kings started well. I think they were at par with Rajasthan Royals after 6 overs, but then things went downhill from there. Watson got out, and then the chase was pretty much derailed. Despite some late hitting from Faf du Plessis and MS Dhoni, all it did was reduce the margin of loss to a respectable number. So in the end, Rajasthan ended up winning by 16 runs. And they had some brilliant bowling from Rahul Tewatia and Jofra Archer, and the rest of the bowlers chipping in. So all in all, it was probably the first one-sided match of the tournament. You probably got the sense that after the eighth over of the Chennai chase, that the match was pretty much done and dusted there. So I think we've got a lot of points to talk about today. So without wasting further time, let's jump in at number 5. What do we have for us now?
So at number five, I would want to review the trend in the series so far. We've seen 4 matches in this year's IPL, and it's been a general observation that players are still settling in. It's been a tournament that has been scheduled with lesser notice than before, and the players have been in isolation without any cricket. So the rustiness is showing up, and that's what the quality of cricket is also not at at its best so far. There have been bowlers lacking discipline. There have been batting collapses here and there. There have been umpiring errors. So probably even the umpires. Um,
Yeah.
so it's been we can just hope that after the first few games, uh, everybody will be warmed up, and the real quality of cricket will actually improve going further. But so far, it's been kind of left us desiring for more.
Yeah,
That's my opinion. So
I agree. I think it's been a little patchy, and I think the fact that most players have not had any actual game time in the past few months, that's affecting the quality of the game. The IPL is the premier 2020 domestic tournament, and we want to see the highest quality. So, here's hoping for the quality to improve in the games to come. Moving on, and number 4, we've got the playing conditions, and that has made a big impact in today's game, especially at Sharjah. The ground was much smaller. When I saw Samson batting of the first couple of sixes that he hit, probably if it was Abu Dhabi or Dubai, he might have probably been caught on the boundary. But today they went for sixes. There was heavy dew, and I think players were perspiring a lot, so that also contributed to probably the bowlers losing their lines and lengths. The pitch in Sharjah was also not as bouncy as Abu Dhabi or Dubai, so players you had some spongy bounce. Players had more time to react to the ball. So some of the shorter balls that bowlers tried bowling, I think except for Jofra Archer, everyone else got tonked of their slower balls. So a big difference in Sharjah versus the other venues. You'd probably see Sharjah having more high-scoring matches in the first few games of the tournament until the pitches get tired, and you'd probably see lower scores later on in the tournament.
I agree. So if you're a bowler, so Sharjah is not going to be a very happy hunting ground. That can
Indeed,
be included. Yes, yes.
indeed. All right, what's up next? What do we have at number 3 today?
So up next, I would like to bring up the contrasting bowling efforts between the two sides, Rajasthan and CSK. So CSK actually bowled first. They did not know exactly what to expect from the batting lineup of Rajasthan, what lengths to bowl. So they were either too full, the spinners were too full, and Sanju Samson took full toll of that. It was in his arc, and he was actually swinging hard, and everything was going for sixes. And the Pacers, on the other hand, were bowling short. So easily it was the ball was there to be hit, and everybody could line up and actually hook. And also, CSK bowlers particularly lacked a lot of discipline. There were no balls aplenty.
Yeah.
How many no balls got hit for sixes? And probably that is what cost the game then in the end, in hindsight.
Yeah.
So all in all, so that was the shoddy bowling performance from the CSK side. On the other hand, Rajasthan Royals probably had the benefit of seeing CSK bowl first, and so they could take that corrective step. The spinners did not bowl too full, neither did they bowl too short. It was like back of a length, so making it difficult, asking the batsman to take the risk. All in all, Rajasthan, although had the benefit of seeing CSK bowl first, but were probably more disciplined, and that showed in their performance.
Yeah, I agree. And I think in hindsight, they probably were glad to have lost the toss. So they got to see, the errors that the CSK bowlers made. They cashed in on the errors while they were batting, and they were able to do the right things when they were bowling. Moving on, at point number 2, we've got CSK's chasing strategy. And I know, Nags, you've got a rant coming. So I think before you jump into it, I'm probably going to give you my view on things. I think CSK really missed power hitters at the top of the order. So Watson gave it his best. But apart from Watson, I think they sorely missed Raidu, especially someone who was in form, who had a brilliant game against Mumbai in the previous match. With his absence, I think they were sorely lacking that firepower. They missed someone who could create the chaos when they were batting and hit the bowlers off the lines and length. And as I was watching it, I felt that it probably would have been very different if another team was batting. If it was someone else, if it was, say, for example, if it was Delhi Capitals who were batting this, it would have been really interesting. They would have gone boom or bust, right? There's no two ways about it. If you're losing a match, you lose it. You can lose a match by 16 runs or 60 runs. I don't think it probably, some would say it matters with net run rate and stuff like that. But as a viewer, I probably felt that CSK were lacking that intent. Especially, I think they were until the 6th over, they were at par with Rajasthan Royals. But the Royals killed the chase between the 7th and the 16th overs, because that's when they took wickets. The new batsmen who were coming in, except for probably Sam Curran, they didn't show a lot of onus in trying to hit go for the sixers and get a lot of boundaries. And while Faf and Dhoni's late order hitting sort of brought the margin of defeat to a respectable 16-run defeat, I think the game was done by the 16th over. You knew CSK had to get 80 runs off 24 balls. That's not happening.
Yeah. So, as I said, I also had the exact same things to bring up. And the batting order actually was very questionable. I do not know why Dhoni walked out so late. Was he really hiding himself? Sorry, harsh words, but I had to say that.
And what do we have at number 1 today?
So at number 1, it was the stupendous batting performance by Rajasthan Royals. When I actually read the scorecard at the toss, I knew it was like drooling with quality. So I knew we had great expectations from Yashasvi Jaiswal, and then Sanju Samson was always there. From the IPL, you always look up to him. So Jaiswal obviously failed in his first outing, but Samson more than made up for the loss of Jaiswal early. And the hitting was so clean. The class was there, oozing class all along. And it was a pleasure to watch. And Steve Smith's promotion at the top was an interesting choice, but he was so experienced. He knew exactly what to do. He played second fiddle to Samson. And then when there was a mini collapse, he actually saw them through that phase and stitched in useful partnerships with the lower order players. And then in the end, it was a swashbuckling end by Jofra Archer. I actually did not know his hitting prowess to this extent. And obviously, Ngidi had a forgettable over, but Archer was actually hitting them clean. He would have hit them out of the park in any ground around the world there. So,
imagine if Ngidi had probably just conceded 15 runs instead of the 30 that he conceded. The margin of defeat would have been, or the game would have been much closer. CSK might even have fancied the chances. So
exactly.
It was an interesting game. One last point in this, I think we highlighted Sanju Samson as someone who needs to step up and prove his mettle in this Rajasthan squad. He is given these opportunities. In the tournament preview, we said he's played for India but squandered those opportunities. If he continues in the same vein, we know it's just the first game of the tournament. If he continues in the same vein, it should be an exciting tournament to watch, definitely.
let's hope for the sake of just viewing quality, Sanju Samson should come good more often than not.
Brilliant. So I would think again, it's an unanimous choice in terms of our player of the match for today, and I think that's probably Sanju Samson.
Exactly, no disputes there. So Samson, with his quality of hitting and the ease of hitting, and the impact that he had, and player of the game without doubt.
Excellent. And moving on to the next section, fun facts for the day. I've got an interesting collection of few facts. So I'm going to let you pick what did you find the most fun today. So you had, the fact that, Miller was out on his debut for Rajasthan Royals without actually facing a ball. He got run out for 0. Watson's fielding, CSK were trying to hide him at short third man, but Rajasthan kept edging the ball towards him, and the ball kept, I think there were at least 3 or 4 boundaries that went through Watson. I read a tweet somewhere that, Dev Dutt Padikkal, Sanju Samson, both of them have done well in the past couple of games. Their Kerala is doing well they're doing well because the tournament is being played in the UAE, so who else would do well? I thought that was
a very
quite
good
funny.
observation.
and the fact that, for the first time ever, Sam Curran and Tom Curran were playing on for opposite sides. It's never happened before. I think they've played over 100 first-class matches plus limited over games together, but it's the first time they've been on the opposite sides. So what's your pick for today?
Well, I would say the backyard cricket between the Curran brothers. So the first time, it was interesting to see one Curran face the other. It was interesting reading in the commentary, Curran bowling to Curran. So yeah, very healthy rivalry, and it was fun to watch. Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. Moving on, we've got tomorrow's game. We've got the Corbo Lord Jeet Bo Brigade, KKR, playing the first game of the tournament against the Mumbai Indians. And this game is going to be played in Abu Dhabi, so we've got faster pitches. So what's your prediction tomorrow?
So knowing that yesterday's prediction went haywire, so I'm still going to go out and predict what I would like to see. I would like to see KKR come all guns blazing with Shubman Gill, and in the bowling attack, Kamlesh Nagarkoti and Shivam Mavi, unleash them and run through Mumbai. So basically, KKR coming out on top.
Well, I'm going for KKR as well tomorrow, so just to make the tournament a little more interesting. All right, so that's a wrap for tonight's episode. If you agree with our views, do let us know. If you have different opinions, please don't be afraid to voice them, because our channel is for uninvited opinions. If you like this video, please like and share it with your friends. Do subscribe to our channel to keep more videos coming your way. Thank you for watching. Have a brilliant day ahead.